So, mag-start na tayo. Ito na po yun. So, marami na ba? Magandang umaga po, Jake Juliet Kian. Yun na po, maling akala ng mga Dutertes. Hindi po maling akala. Ang Office of Solicitor General mismo po nagsabi. I don't want to argue with you, but ang interpretasyon ko po ay nagpareho kami ng Office of Solicitor General. Ang aking opinion sa mga nabasa ko ng journal, ipabasa ko sa inyo lahat. Pareho po kami ng lahat ng opinion. Wala na pong jurisdiction ang ICC sa Pilipinas. Bagkus, kung wala jurisdiction, dapat nang ipalabas na yan. At pareho din ang jurisdiction, ang aking argumento ay pareho din sa desisyon ng dalawang judge na nag-dissent o kumontra sa decision na sabi nila wala ng jurisdiction ang ICC sa Pilipinas. Siguro bago ko ilabas ang statement o ang argumento ng Office of Solicitor General ng Pilipinas, ilabas ko muna po yung argumento o yung decision, dissenting decision o opinion ng dalawang judge ng ICC na si Judge Perrine Bichambaut at saka si Judge Gusa Lord Kipanidze. Ito po yung kanilang decision. Nilabas nila ito noong July 2023. So ito po yun. Palaki natin para makita niyo. So nakalagay, dissenting opinion of Judge Perrine de Bichambaut and Judge Gusa Lord Kipanidze. So ito po yun. Basahin ko ng sandali. Sinabi nila sa introduction, this appeal arises from the 26 January 2023 decision of Pretrial Chamber 1 that authorized the prosecutor to resume the investigation into the situation of the Philippines. In today's judgment, the majority of the appeals chamber dismisses the first ground of appeal raised by the Philippines in its appeal brief. In its view, since the impugned decision does not constitute a decision with respect to jurisdiction, and two, the issue of the effect of the Philippines withdrawal from the statute of the court's jurisdiction was neither properly raised and discussed before the pretrial chamber nor adequately raised in the appeal, the appeals chamber cannot entertain the Philippines appeal on this point. So, ibig sabihin, noong panahon noong July 2023, malamang panalo ang lack of jurisdiction kung tama lamang ang pag-apila nila kung tama lamang ang ginawa ni Menardo Guevara bilang Solgen. Kaya lang hindi naging tama. Pero ang argumento naman ni Menardo Guevara sa kanilang appeal patungkol sa kung tanong na may mag-defer baba o hindi, ay inayunan actually nitong dalawang judge. Sabi ng dalawang judge, hindi na pwede kailangan pa. Kahit hindi na nagsabi ang Pilipinas sa mababang korte, which is pretrial chamber, kahit hindi na sila nag-argumento kung may authority pa ba o wala ang ICC, dapat nating ay desisyon na nito. Yun ang essence ng decision nitong dalawang judge na nag-decision na wala ng jurisdiction ang ICC sa Pilipinas. So, kunin natin ang last two paragraphs nila. Ito pong pirma ni Judge Mark Perrine de Bichambaut at saka ni Judge Gusa Lord Kipanidze. Pinirmahan nila noong July 18, 2023. So, ito ang sabi niya, critically, the interpretation of Article 1 to 7, Paragraph 2 of the statute as espoused by the prosecutor cannot be reconciled with the principles of the Vienna Convention on the law of treaties and with the intention of the drafters of the statute, as that interpretation would render Article 127 meaningless by allowing to trigger the court's jurisdiction indefinitely. Yan ang word na indefinitely, napakatindi nito. Ibig mo sabihin, dahil lamang ang nakapagsimula na silang preliminary examination, ay kahit after 1,000 years, pwede pa sila makapaghingi ng investigation sa Pilipinas? Buhay pa ba si Digong Duterte? Hindi na, patay na. So that makes it awkward. So ibig sabihin, kahit sabihin natin after 20 years, saka pwede pa rin sila mag-invoke. Hindi na pwede. Patay na yung mga taong kakasuhan mo. So ibig sabihin po, it is really correct to interpret na yung preliminary examination ay hindi po siya sakop ng Article 127 para magbigay ng jurisdiction or authority sa ICC para lilitisin at husgahan si Duterte. So, in our view, sabi ni Judge Perin Bichambao at saka ni Judge Gutsaliko, Lord D. Capanedzi, ay sabi niya, in our view, Article 127 of the statute is contained in the final clauses. The provisions contained in that part cannot alter the carefully crafted jurisdictional regime contained in Part 2 of the statute. So, ang Part 2 dyan, ang jurisdictional regime, ina-insist pa rin sa Article 12, Paragraph 2, in relation to Article 13, Paragraph C. So, sinasabi doon sa Article 12, Paragraph 2, at Article 13, Paragraph C, na kung hindi na member ang bansa, hindi na siya member ng ICC o Rome Statute, ay hindi na pwedeng humingi ng investigasyon. In the case of the Philippines, in the case of the Philippines, nag-apply sila ni Trillanes noong 2017 ng mga communications ang tawag. Pero ang mga communications na yun po yung mga tinatawag na mga affidavit ni Matubato, tapos dinugtungan pa yan ng later part ng affidavit ni Las Cañas. Yung affidavit ni Las Cañas ay sinumiti po after the declaration of preliminary examination. So 2017 yun, I could not forget the month, April. So ngayon, tuloy-tuloy yun, nakipag-usap si Trillanes doon kaya lumabas ang kausap niya ay si Attorney Karim Khan. Na that time, private lawyer pa lang si Attorney Karim Khan, prosecutor. So si Attorney Karim Khan ang nag-file ng lahat ng papel ni Trillanes papunta sa ICC. At noong February 18, 2018, February 8, ay nag-anunsyo si Fatou Bensouda na mag-preliminary examination na ang Office of the Prosecutor. Ang ibig sabihin po niyon ay Office of the Prosecutor lamang ang involved, hindi po kasama ang korte. So, with that as it may, nag-proceed ang kanilang tinatawag na preliminary examination. Ano bang ginagawa sa preliminary examination? Parang ano lang yan? Parang pulis na naggawa ng investigation, mga Sherlock Holmes na mga pulis, mga NBI, FBI. Gumagawa pa lang sila ng investigasyon nila. Preliminary yan, examination. Nangangalap ng ebidensya. At that point, wala pa silang alam kung sino ang kakasuhan. At wala pa rin silang hawak na ebidensya na sapat na para sabihin na may probable cause. Yan po ang sitwasyon sa ICC. So ngayon nag-proceed. Meantime, March 16, 2018, nag-file ng withdrawal. Duterte caused the Department of Foreign Affairs to submit withdrawal notice to the Office of the Secretary General of the United Nations on March 16, 2018. And subsequently, the ICC approved the withdrawal, despite the fact that Senators Kiko Pangilinan and others filed in the Philippines a petition to stop the withdrawal. And the invoke that because in the approval of the entry or the joining of the Philippines to the ICC, two-thirds of the senators voted for it. So that in their argument, if we were to withdraw, then two-thirds of the senators should also vote for that. Ang problema, sinabi ng Supreme Court natin, ay moot an academic na po. Bakit? Itinanggap naman ng ICC ang withdrawal. Wala tayong magagawa. So that's it. So ngayon, nang nawala na, that was March 16, 2018. Tapos ang Supreme Court decision dumating yung mga 2021 na eh. So anyway, ang ginawa naman ng OTP, imbis na magmamadali sila kasi mayroon silang 1 year to work on the case sa ilalim po ng Article 1 to 7. Paragraph 2 ay nagsasabi na within 1 year ay mananatili na member pa rin ang Pilipinas mula ng araw na nag-withdraw ito. So, kailan ang huling araw? March 16, 2019. So, dapat nag-wind up ang prosecutor's office ng ICC na tuduhan nila ang galaw nila para makapag-file sila, maka-request ng makapag-file ng kaso. Ang problema, palangan-langan. Grievous delays ang nangyari po. Wala nang speedy trial na nangyari. Right to speedy disposition of the case. Wala na ang inobserve. So, dumating na lamang ng May 24, 2021, palang na mag-file. 2 years mahigit na final na ang withdrawal ng Pilipinas. Doon palang nag-file ang ICC prosecutor ng request for investigation. Ang request for investigation po ay katumbas yan sa Pilipinas na pag-file ng police sa fiscal's office na mag-umpisa ng kaso. Dito, nag-file sila, hindi sila mag-investigate sila nitong May 24, 2021. Ito naman ang pretrial chamber, inaprubahan naman ng September 15, 2021. Kaya, nagkawindang-windang. Nagugulo. So, ito ngayon. So, ang nangyari, nagkaroon po ng si Minardo Guevara noong panahon na yun ay nag-submit siya ng request for deferral of the proceedings. Kasi, ang sinasabi ni Minardo Guevara noon, ay kaya naman ng Pilipinas imbestigahan yan. Pero hindi naniniwala ang ICC kung kaya o hindi sapagkat nung sinabit na ni Minardo Guevara ay 61 cases lamang ang na-imbestiga. Sabi ng ICC, kulang to. This is a proof na not willing ang Philippines para mag-imbestiga. So with that, nag-apila ngayon si Minardo Guevara sa appeals chamber ng ICC. Yun ang appeals chamber, yun limang judge ang meron dyan. 2 sa 5 judge yan ay si Judge Perin Debrechambaut at saka si Judge Gotcha Lord Kipanidze. Ngayon, nagdesisyon ang appeals chamber. 3 judge nagsabi, hindi namin aksyonan yung apila na walang jurisdiction kasi hindi naman properly raised during the initial stage sa pretrial chamber judge o judges. So, yan ang sagot ng 3. Ibig sabihin, at that point sabi, we will not decide on this point, on this case of jurisdiction issue because hindi naman properly raised sa ibaba. Pero yung 2 judge, si Judge Perin Debrechambaut at saka si Judge Gotcha Lord Kipanidze ay nagdesisyon tahasan, wala ng jurisdiction or authority ang ICC sa kaso ng Pilipinas, much more kaso ni Duterte. So armed with that, so nagtuloy-tuloy ang hearing. Dumating siya, hinuli si Duterte sa pagtatraidor ng mga opisyal ng Pilipinas. Nag-apply ang prosecutor ng February 10 ng East Office of the Prosecutor ng February 10, nag-file sila ng request for warrant of arrest. Ang nagtataka ako, kung talagang may kaso sila, bakit si Digong Duterte lang ang dinagay nila na palabasan ng warrant of arrest? Kung ako naman tanungin mo, bilang isang aral na trial lawyer, isa lamang pong ibig sabihin yan. Ang ibig sabihin yan ay kulang-kulang sila sa ebidensya. Wala silang ebidensya kay Bato. Wala silang ebidensya sa ibang akusado. At tandaan, ang mga nangyari, ang kinaso ng prosecutor laban kay Digong ay co-perpetrator. Ano ibig sabihin ng co-perpetrator? Mastermind pero wala ka sa lugar. O hindi ikaw pumatay. Mastermind ka lang. So ngayon, sa mga abogadong Batikan, sa trial, hindi yung abogado na sa lamesa lang gumagawa. So sa mga abogado na Batikan, kagaya ko, ay hindi yan matatanggap na kaso na mastermind na kasuhan mo. Paano mo patutunayan kung ang batas ay nangangailangan ng proof beyond reasonable doubt? Pruweba na walang duda. Paano mo papatunayan na yung tao na ay mastermind kung hindi mo maipatunayan kung sino ang pumatay? May patay ba? May corpus ano ba? May corpus delicti ba? Yung body of the crime? Hindi mo patunayan kung sino pumatay, sino nagutos. So, kailangan mo mapapatunayan na may connection mula sa mastermind papunta sa pumatay. So, paano mo ngayon masintensyahan ang isang mastermind kung wala kang ibang ebidensya? Wala kang, anong ebidensya mo? Magtuturo? Siya ang mastermind niya, siya nagutos. So, ngayon, kasunod, titingnan ng korte. Ikaw nagutos. Saan mga inutos? Ididepensya naman ng abogado Duterte. You cannot prove that he was the mastermind if you cannot produce to us the actual culprit, the perpetrators, the gunner, kung sino yung bumaril. So, ganun ang sitwasyon. Nevertheless, yung argumento nila na Attorney Kaufman ay sinunod nila yung sinabi ni Judge Perin de Brichambaut at saka ni Judge Gotcha Lord Kipanidze. Na ang conclusion ay ganito. Na dahil nag-withdraw na, wala ng jurisdiction. Kaya nga sabi ng dalawang judge, for the foregoing reasons, we consider the pretrial chamber erred in concluding that the court or ICC had the jurisdiction over the Philippines despite the Philippines withdrawal. As a result, we would have granted the Philippines first ground of appeal and found that the court cannot exercise jurisdiction in the Philippine situation anymore. Yan. Matinding judge to, ha? At sa dalawang judge, nandyan pa po naiwan pa nag-retire na po si Judge Perin de Brichambaut. Nag-retire na. Pero ang natira na lang po, andyan pa sa 5, si Judge Gotcha Lord Kipanidze. Yun, matindi na power yan. So ngayon, ito naman, ipresenta ko naman ngayon ladies and gentlemen, ang argumento ng bago natin na Solicitor General na si Darlene Berberabi, nakakatalaga pa lamang ni Marcos sa kanya. Titingnan natin po, basahin natin ang argumento ni Solicitor General Arlene Berberabi. Dapat, pabor kay Marcos dapat ito. Ang problema, pabor kay Duterte ang argumento eh. Ayan. Palakyan ko ha. So ngayon, para naman lamang masatisfy kayo na argumento ng Solicitor General, tingnan natin sa taas. Yan. Sebastian C. Duterte. Tapos versus marami sila. At ito, sabi niya, respondents through the Office of the Solicitor General in compliance with the Honorable Court's resolution he respectfully state. Yan. So, ito na ngayon. Punta tayo sa page 64. Ito. 66. Una sinabi ng Pilipinas ano dito. Dito natin. Dito na lang. Sinabi ng Solgen natin, ang sinabi niya diyan, klaro basahin ko na lang ha. Tapos Tagalogin ko mamaya. The Philippines has had wala na, cooperation with the ICC due to the absence of a request for cooperation. Okay? Klaro na yan ha. The Philippines has had no cooperation with the ICC due to the absence of a request for cooperation. So, ito naman ngayon. Pababain na natin. So, any cooperation with the court in Article 127, Paragraph 2 of the Rome Statute contemplates cooperation with the ICC as an institution, acting through the Rome Statute's cooperation machinery, not through any informal engagement. For this reason, the first segment of the second sentence under Article 127, Paragraph 2 must be read in conjunction with Part 9 of Rome Statute, which governs international cooperation and judicial assistance and defines the forms, channels, and modalities of cooperation between the ICC and state parties, including the Philippines. So, number 162, relatedly, the ICC prosecutor's policy on preliminary examinations specifically states that the office of the prosecutor cannot invoke the forms of cooperation under Part 9 of the Rome Statute at the preliminary examination stage. Kaya ito, the preliminary examination activities. Ito po sinulat sa Rules of Procedure or Policy Book ng International Criminal Court. Sabi, preliminary examination activities. Number 85. At the preliminary examination stage, the office does not enjoy investigative powers other than for the purpose of receiving testimony at the seat of the court and cannot invoke the forms of cooperation specified in Part 9 of the statute from stage. Mismo sinabi niya ng policy ng ICC. Na tanging magtatanggap lang sila mga testimonya kung meron man. Pero hindi sila makagalaw na maka-invoke na magkaroon ng formal investigation. Para nga lang silang pulis na tumatanggap ng ebidensya, naghahagilap pa ng ebidensya, hindi pa alam kung makapag-file ang pulis ng kaso o hindi, depende kung mayroong ebidensya. Ganon po ang nagiging papel ng Office of the Prosecutor sa kasong ito. Next, 163. Hence, no form of cooperation under Part 9 of the Rome Statute. Part 9 specifically, nagre-refer ito sa Article 127 of the Rome Statute could have been made by the Philippines solely at the instance of the Office of the Prosecutor during the preliminary examination stage. So, sinat niyo ito, footnote number 95. Pag binasa mong footnote number 95, ang laman niya, nagsasabi kung ano ang ginagawa ng prosecutor. Yun lang. Mag-research sa internet. Magbubukas sa Human Rights Watch. Mag-research sa Amnesty International na website para makapaghanap ng mga human rights violations. Ito na. Sinabi na tahasan, the Philippines did not have an existing or pending duty to cooperate with the ICC before its withdrawal from the Rome Statute took effect. So 164, the phrase in relation to which the withdrawing state had a duty to cooperate in Article 127, Paragraph 2 of the Rome Statute requires a pre-existing or priorly engaged duty to cooperate that had already attached while the state was still a party of the Rome Statute. Walang cooperation, walang agreement, walang kasunduan sila nangyari. So wala. So number 1, sabi ng Office of the Solicitor General, respondents must respectfully direct the Honorable Court's attention. So naghingi sila sa Supreme Court na tingnan nyo naman ang salitang ginamit ay nagkalagay sa past tense. The cooperation clause does not speak of a future duty that shall arise after withdrawal. It refers to the cooperation in matters where the withdrawing state had or past tense ng have a duty to cooperate. The ordinary meaning of had denotes a duty that already existed during the period in which the state was a party. So hindi mo siya pwede sabihin na nakipag-cooperate ka sa ngayon, ay pwede na. Bound na ang Philippines. Hindi, kasi sa Article 1 to 7, nagsasabi, pag tapos na withdrawal, hindi na pwede yung future na ginawa. Halimbawa, yung pinaaresto nila si Duterte, cooperation ba yun? Hindi matatawag na cooperation yun. Yan ang sinasabi ng Office of Solicitor General natin. So, ibig sabihin na, sabi niya to, the ordinary meaning of the cooperation clause exudes a duty that may later be asserted after withdrawal takes effect. So, formal na formal yan. Okay? Tapos sinabi pa ng Office of the Solicitor General ng Pilipinas, sabi niya, this interpretation is consistent with Article 70, Paragraph 1 of the Vienna Convention on the Law of Treaties, which preserves existing obligations only and prevents the creation of future obligations. So, ibig sabihin, yung mga obligasyon na nandun na nung kasapi pang Pilipinas ng ICC ay mananatili kung meron man. At hindi siya pwede magkaroon ng bagong obligasyon. Okay? Ibig sabihin, hindi pwede magkaroon ng obligasyon ng Pilipinas na kung gusto-gusto niya lang na arestuin si Duterte at ibigay doon. Okay, ito. Number 167. Interpreting Article 70, Paragraph 1 of the Vienna Convention on the Law of Treaties, together with the first segment of the second sentence of the Rome Statute, provides a clear delineation as to the obligations expected of withdrawing state. Number 168. A withdrawing state cannot invoke its withdrawal to nullify a duty to cooperate that had already previously attached. Similarly, the ICC cannot impose a future and contingent duty to cooperate on the withdrawing state that may have arisen after its withdrawal from the Rome Statute had taken effect. Number 169. In the decision pursuant to Article 15 of the Rome Statute on the authorization of an investigation into the situation in the Republic of Burundi dated October 25, 2017, the ICC held that Burundi remained bound to cooperate, not because of Article 1 to 7, Paragraph 2, that creates continuing obligation after withdrawal, but because of the investigation was authorized and legally commenced before the effectivity of the withdrawal of the Republic of Burundi. So, ito ngayon ang statement sa Republic of Burundi. The chamber notes that the relationship between the first and second sentences of Article 1 to 7, Paragraph 2 of the statute may be construed in different ways. However, the chamber considers that it need not resolve this matter in relation to this request. In view of the chamber, any obligations on the part of Burundi arising out of the chamber's Article 15, Paragraph 4 decision would survive Burundi's withdrawal. The reason is that the present decision is delivered prior to the entry into effect of Burundi's withdrawal on 27 October 2017. In other words, magiging final ang pag-withdraw ng Republic of Burundi kasi kaparehan ng Pilipinas, nag-withdraw din ito. Magiging final sa October 27, 2017. Pero hindi ito kagaya kay Duterte. Sa kay Duterte, nag-file sila, tapos na. Dito naman sa Burundi, nag-file sila ng kaso ay October 25 pa lang. Hindi pa naubos ang deadline. Okay, kay Duterte na time, dapat maubos ang deadline ay March 16, 2019. Ngayon, nag-file sila ng May 24, 2021. So, yan po ang nangyari. So, napakalayo ng dahilan. So, accordingly, sabi naman ng Solicitor General natin, it cannot be disputed that if authorized, an investigation into the situation in Burundi would commence prior to the date of which the withdrawal became effective. Therefore, subsequent to the entry into force of its withdrawal, Burundi's obligation to cooperate with the court in relation to such investigation, if authorized, remains in effect for as long as the investigation lasts and encompasses any proceedings resulting from the investigation. Ito naman ngayon, 170. In these consolidated petitions, what was initiated before the Philippines withdrawal from the Rome Statute was only a preliminary examination. Preliminary examination lang na initiate na noong February 8, 2018, undertaken by the Office of the Prosecutor. This preliminary examination did not trigger a duty to cooperate, as the Office of the Prosecutor could not invoke the forms of cooperation in Part 9 of the Rome Statute. Yeah! Kumampi ang Solicitor General natin sa aking laging inililecture. Parehas kami. So kaya number 171, unlike in the situation in the Republic of Burundi, the procedural history of the situation in the Republic of the Philippines had not matured to the point where the Philippines had a duty to cooperate prior to the effectivity of the Philippines withdrawal from the Rome Statute. Thus, the first segment of the second sentence of Article 127, Paragraph 2 of the statute does not apply here. So that, number 3, the Philippines has no more duty to cooperate in an investigation that was not commenced prior to the date of effectivity of its withdrawal from the Rome Statute. Again, napakagaling ng ating Solicitor General. Pinanindigan niya kahit na magalit si Bongbong Marcos. Number 172, the commencement of criminal investigations and proceedings has a specific meaning in the Rome Statute. Number 173, Article 15 of the Rome Statute details the initiation of investigation by the prosecutor proprio motu. An investigation is triggered upon the prosecutor's conclusion that there is a reasonable basis to proceed with an investigation and submission to the pretrial chamber of a request for authorization of an investigation. So, ibig sabihin, pwede lamang yan kung makapag-desisyon ang prosecutor, pwede mag-imbestiga sa Pilipinas kung makapag-desisyon ang prosecutor na mayroon palang rason na pagdiretso siya sa investigasyon at hihingi siya dapat sa pretrial chamber ng authorization para mag-investigate. So, number 174, notably the investigation into the situation in the Philippines was not commenced prior to the Philippines withdrawal from the Rome Statute, whether before March 17, 2018, when it submitted its notice of withdrawal through a note verbally, or before March 17, 2019, the effectivity of such withdrawal. To recall, the ICC prosecutor, Ms. Patubin Sauda, submitted her request to open an investigation into the situation in the Republic of the Philippines only on May 24, 2021. The ICC thereafter issued its decision authorizing the commencement of the prosecutor's investigation sometime on September 15, 2021. By these dates, more than 2 years had already elapsed after the Philippines withdrawal from the Rome Statute had become effective. So by all reasonable interpretations of Article 1272 of the Rome Statute, the Philippines had no obligation to cooperate with the ICC. The investigation into the situation in the Philippines having been commenced subsequent to and not prior to its withdrawal. Even assuming that it had a general duty to cooperate, apart from pursuant to Part 9 of the Rome Statute, any obligation or duty to cooperate that the Philippines may have had ended in March 17. Hence, an ICC investigation initiated and authorized 2 years after March 17, 2019 cannot possibly give rise to a continuing obligation on the Philippines' part to cooperate with the investigation into the situation of the Republic of the Philippines. Considering that the Philippines does not have a continuing duty to cooperate, the Philippines was not bound to follow the Rome Statute, particularly Article 59. Yeah! So, ano nangyari? Magbunyi na ngayon itong magbunyi na ngayon itong mga DDS, kinampihan kayo ng Solicitor General. Okay? Naintindihan niyo ba yung sinabi ko? Bakit gulo? Hindi ko ginugulo. Tinatanggal ko lang po ang gulo. Ha? Ito po yung tama. Kumampi na po ang Solicitor General kay Duterte. Pasensyahan tayo. Ganun naman talaga ang tama. Ever since ganun sinasabi ko. So ganun, ang sinasabi ko ay may nagsabi na ibang tao na Office of the Solicitor General sa pamumuno ni Darlene Berberabe, yung pumalit kay Minardo Guevara. At ganun din ang sinasabi ni Judge Perin Dibritz-Ambot at ni Judge Gutsa Lord Key Panidsi. Yan. Kayon, ay halos sigurado na ako na yung Supreme Court naman natin magdesisyon na anong mangyari? Na kinidnap si Digong Duterte, patay. Delikado kayo, mga mukong kayo. Neng, magandang umaga. Sabi naman ni Nubakad Nusir Bilarta, utang ng loob attorney, huwag mo na po ninyong gulo. Hindi mo po ako nagbakuan, hindi man ko ginugulo, lalo ko kinaklaro ko lang po kung ano talaga dapat na batas. Sige, Senator, good morning, Antoinette Maroon. Maraming salamat sa iyong pagpapaliwanag. Sabi naman ni Toy Bak, magaling mo talaga at Toto Kausing. Roddy Rabi, Dr. Kausing, you are always in my praise. Salamat po. So, si Salong Gasakal, to summarize this matter, ICC has no jurisdiction. If PRRD and even BBM said ICC has no jurisdiction. Pareha sila. Ganyan. Ano nga yung expectation mo sa decision ng Supreme Court? Kasi sa Supreme Court ng Pilipinas, binigay ito. Di papabor kay Duterte. Salong Gasaka, to summarize, nabasa ko na po. Teacher Petty, si Kunti, abogado ng NPA. Attorney Kunti, gusto mo, magdebate tayo. Hinahaman kita. Pati si Attorney Gabriel Andres, si Attorney Joel Butuyan, hinahamon ko kayo. Debate tayo. Tapos si Teachers PTV, alaga pa ng ICC si Bangag. Wait lang natin. Rolando Guerrero, mahina ang abogado ni Digong. Puro deny ang appeal. So Teachers PTV, pag nagbago president ang namumuno, mapipresure ang ICC. Rolando Guerrero, may nabasa ako, 30 years daw ang kulong. Hindi. Wala yun, huwag ka maniwala sa nabasa. Yan po ay kung masintensyan siya. Pero problema po, Roland, ay hindi na siya masintensyan kasi walang lahat na ko, pati Solicitor General ng Pilipinas ay kumampi na kay Digong. Chrissy, good morning, Dr. Toto, watching from overseas. Thank you, I've learned a lot from your live streaming. Salamat po. Si Tommy, masusulat sa kasaysayan ng Pilipinas na mga nanghuli kay Duterte at sumuko sa dayuhang ICC ay mga masasamang Pilipino. Ito ay Senatore, magkapatid ni Rimulya, Gibo Teodoro, si Eduardo Anyo, si Marcos Lacanilaw, at saka si BBM. Si Romel Marbil pa, si Jigger Riarte, Fanny Feriol, Rodster, Hilo Manged, Andre Casinillo. Ang labo ng video kasi labo ng analysis mo. Ganun ba? Hindi na. Ikaw lang nalabuan siguro, baka hindi mo naintindihan. Juliet Jinkyon. Okay, ano pa? Jigger Riarte, Juliet Jinkyon. Tapos Francisco Reyes. Nabubudol na naman daw ako. Galit na galit kayo kasi hindi kayo napaboran. Gisaltar, yes po, tamang-tama ang sinasabi mo sa mga vlogs mo ito pareho kay Judge Berberabe. Tapos, Katso, haha, as always, Dr. Toto, napakagaling mong magpaliwanag. God bless, salamat po. Dimilyonga, dapat kasuhan ng mga nag-effort na. Marianita, Dr. the best sa pagpapaliwanag. At least naintindihan na ang pagpilipinang mahirap. Okay, palitan na si Kopman. Okay, galing mo talaga. Toto, hinyo ka talaga. Salamat po. Galing kay James Kevin Casion. Si Nestor Mags, the position of soldier is legally excellent. Tama. Hooray to you, Attorney Toto. Macabele Shakor, plain and simple, kidnapping ginawa nila. Ganun lang po kasimple yan. So, ladies and gentlemen, magbuji na kayo mga DDS. Paki-ano lang ito, paki-share, paki-like, para pangkontra sa mga BBM vloggers na nag-dislike sa akin, nag-mass reporting sa akin, kaya nagkaroon ako ng shadow ban, hindi na ako nakikita ng maraming mga subscribers ko, hindi na nakakita sa live stream ko. Tapos si D squared. Good day, Dr. Toto. Watching here from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I like your thoughts about various topics that you discuss in your channel. Keep it up. Thank you so much po, D squared. D Milyong, watching live Katoto from Toronto. Sana maparusahan ang mga nagplano pagkidnap ang kapwa nating Pinoy. Lalo dating presidente ang pinakidnap nila. Tama. Okay? Bombi, maayong buntag. Dr. Maayong buntag sab. Rolando Catedrilla, proud Coronadalnis. Mga taga Coronadal, maayong aga sa inyo tanan. South Cotabato. Maayong aga kay Vice Mayor San Coronadal, kay Pabi Arakel. Sino pa? Okay, kay Kong Peter Miguel. Mga good morning din kay Governor Ray Tamayo. Good morning din kay board member Alicia Nicole Kausing Labordo. So magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Kay Nonoy, Dodong Tirador, Nonoy Kausing. Good morning po sa inyong lahat. Hanggang dyan, Jomar. Kay Jomar Pantillan, magandang umaga. Okay, so si Roland Catedra watching in Melbourne, Australia. No, I just remember your pariente, si Alex Catedrilla. Na siya po yung compose ng kanta, Ikakasal Ka Na. Yan ang kanta ni kinumpos ni Alex Catedrilla, na kababayan ko sa Coronadal. Di milyong, ito lang vloggers na lahat binabasa ang opinion at sa loobin na manood yan. Kaya lagi ako nakasubaybay sa time mo. Salamat po, Di milyong. Actually, kahit ka kontra sa akin, binabasa ko eh. Maraming salamat po. Good morning. Make my day. Digong.